you did kind of answer it in another video where someone called and asked about like if the Earth is like flat or like we live on a globe.
Yeah.
But so you've answered part of the question. Like what I'm trying to understand is if there's an actual firmament above
Yeah.
us, because you said like it's not necessarily flat.
Yeah.
It's more like a peanut shape.
Yeah.
But like, is there like a firmament still above that peanut shape?
Yes, there is a firmament. It's just that what people are describing it as is not what it is. When you're reading in Genesis, it's talking about the different layers, right? So what they're calling the firmament, like, is the different layers of the sky. But with when we say the sky or the clouds or the heavens, you have different planes or layers to it. Like you have the spheres, right? You know, the stratosphere, the ionosphere, these spheres that are
Right.
like layers that in order to break and come out of this atmosphere, you need to be able to break through these spheres. And the
Right.
firmament is the same because when you're on an aeroplane, right? If you ever flown on an aeroplane, as you're in the sky, as you know, you're obviously lifting up, you see that you go past a layer of clouds. And then the plane, if you look down, you're going to see clouds. And you look up, you see other clouds. So you can keep going up in layers depending on the altitude that the plane will go at and fly at. So what I'm saying is that there are layers of vibrations or what we call atmospheres around the planet as well. And the rainbow also shows you that because when you see a rainbow, it's a curvature, right? You see the different spheres or the different colors that go all the way to what people call purple or ultraviolet. The ultraviolet is the last one before you break that barrier to continue. And people will say if you study light, right? You put
Right.
light through a prism, right? You put white light through a prism and you see how it separates into, well, black and white are not really colors because all colors combined are black, yeah, and the absence of that is white. But you put it through a prism and you see these different colors. Now that prism that is in the sky is an actual craft, right? This craft
Mm-hmm.
is spoken about in the books of Revelation called the Crystal City. Not Nibiru, but the Crystal City, which in the Bible, when that covenant was being made with Noah after the so-called flood, right? It was like we will no longer destroy the earth by water, but by fire. That fire is really relating to the sun, and the sun has heat or energy, right? And
Right.
that crystal city has been placed there as a reminder. Now, when we say placed there, when we say there are crafts waiting in certain altitudes or certain places known as the Lagrange points where they cannot be detected. And some of them are able to camouflage themselves. So that crystal city is how this light is going through or reflecting it to give you this curvature that people are calling, the rainbow. And even though they
Right.
will tell you that it's like light being the fractals of light, or when light is dispersed, because when you look at light, when you really study light, you're looking at photons that are, separated and vibrating. That's why even if you turn on your light bulb at home, you would look at the specks, the little speck that you see in the light. So yeah, it's dealing with vibration and energy. So to go back to your original question, there are parts of the earth that are flat, but not the entire earth. And there is it's more like it's like a oblong, not even an oblong, because the oblong's more like a square. It's more like like I said, like a peanut, kind of that kind of shape. So it's not completely, symmetrical in terms of its circle, but there are different spheres and different atmospheres also surrounding it. And again, think about it. If it's flat, I always ask, what's at the bottom of what you're calling flat? Is it
Right.
just floating in air, or is it resting on top of something? I see all the diagrams with the flat earth people and I've studied them, and no one who is, in my view, based on the teachings of the master teacher, for example, who is the smartest man on the planet, has never told us that the earth is flat. However, if he always updates information. If he ever comes back around and teaches us that and says that, then obviously we will go with, you know what I mean. But the thing is, whenever he teaches something, he will break it down to the point where you will go, you get that aha moment. You will know, like, okay. And until then, based on my research, my studies, other smart people dealing with satellites, evidence that's been produced, etc., etc., like the asteroid belt. There's so much that, you know what I mean, just basically points to the facts that the Earth is not flat in the way they try to portray it. But I'll let you,
Right.
yeah, I'll let you
Like
go.
if the planet is flat, that means the moon and the sun should technically be flat as well. From
Yeah,
what we're seeing.
and another question I ask religious people, I mean, flat earth people that are religious, if you ask them, do they believe in God or Allah or something, most of them say yes. But then when you say, where is God then? Or where is he? Like, they say he's in heaven. And then you say, well, is heaven, where's heaven? It's not on earth, is it? So there's so much holes to the whole thing. Like, that doesn't make sense. But again, it's distractions where, remember, in olden times, people were saying that, you know, the earth was flat and now it's not. And now they're going back to it. But we've got another call, so I'm going to have to leave it there. But thanks for your call.